Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Monaghan. I am here in Culver City, California, with a very special guest. I have been playing in the Special Angel Band now for about 4 or 5 years and have thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a career as a special ed teacher, and so working with kids, and I used music a lot, so working with kids with music is something I'm very familiar with and enjoy. And I have a special guest, as I said, Ryck Jane, who is not only a hip-hop artist in her own right, but also someone who I'm lucky enough to have play in my band, The Sound. So she's here today to talk about her life and her life with music and opportunities that music has given her. And without any further ado, Ryck Jane.
Hi, how you all doing? Thank you for having me, Mike.
Sure.
Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
2020 was hard for us, but it's good to see you again.
So let's just start off talking about when you were a teen, because this program is working with teens. What music meant to you when you were a teen?
I loved music. Growing up, my parents, they had record players and they would play Michael Jackson, Diana Ross. So I fell in love with music very quickly. My family is very music oriented. A lot of singers or musicians are in my family. So during Christmas time, we would all gather around just to sing Christmas carols. So I've been in love with music for a very long time. It wasn't until I got to elementary school, my mother, she forced me to take piano lessons, actually because she did not have the opportunity to play when she was a child. Her mother could not afford it. So when she got the money put aside, she said, you know what, I'm going to make you take piano lessons. And, I hated it at first because I was actually forced to do it. So it wasn't until later on in life that I appreciated the fact that that was my first instrument.
And when you got older, in, let's say, high school, was music a place that you could go? I mean, when things got difficult, as they always do for everyone in high school.
Absolutely. When my grandfather passed away, my grandmother gave me his piano. So got that sent to the house, and I would make up songs just to, make the day go by quickly, or just to be creative, or to have fun. So I've always done that. I never took it seriously, though. It was just literally for fun and because I liked music. But I'm thankful that happened. It allowed me to be more creative and to not just be bored at home. It allowed me to stay active.
Did you play in a band in high school?
Yes. So actually, music wasn't my first love. I played music, but basketball was my favorite thing to do. I played basketball all the time. I played in elementary and junior high, and when I got to high school, I tried out for the basketball team. Didn't work out. It was a lot of politics involved with it that I was unaware of, but I was very impressed with the band, the marching band at that time. And as a freshman going into high school, I saw the band, and I was so impressed by the discipline and how they just stood. I fell in love with it, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I went to the band teacher. I said, hey, how can I be a part of this band? It was fall season, so they had already been rehearsing all summer for the marching band season. So it was actually a little bit too late for me to join the marching band portion of it. So the band teacher, Fernando Pullum, he actually said, what instrument do you play? I say, I play piano. He's like, okay, well, you can be a part of the pit. And the pit is the auxiliary instruments in the marching band. They consist of the congos, the xylophones, claves, instruments like that. So I was a part of the marching band at that time, and I was in the pit. It was a really great experience, and right after marching band season, the band teacher said, okay, so what do you want to play now? And I'm like, I don't know. And I randomly selected the trumpet.
So that was just a random
decision. I really don't have, people ask me all the time, like, why did you choose the trumpet out of all the instruments? The only thing that I can think of is, one, the trumpet is the main melody of most music. It's the main note that you hear when you hear a big band or a large band. That's one thing. But then also my band teacher, he played the trumpet. So Fernando plays the trumpet, and he's a really great musician. He's a great musician, but
correct.
He's
also a great teacher.
Oh,
absolutely, great community
absolutely.
Leader. He's someone who I just greatly admire.
Absolutely,
you were lucky to have him.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have learned under Fernando Pullum.
I don't remember ever even trying to play the trumpet. Okay, but I know as an adult, when I did, maybe the first time tried, it was like, no. It takes a tremendous amount of discipline.
It does.
And persistence. And you just took to it?
Yes. I basically taught myself. There was a chart in the band room that had the fingering for the trumpet, all of the notes. So I basically memorized that and taught myself within a couple of weeks of what the general basis was. I didn't really have lessons until much later on, after a lot of my bigger gigs. And I only had true lessons for like a month. But it's still like so much I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I do wish I had a trumpet mentor. I have other trumpet friends who are like, oh yeah, I had a mentor in school. They went to Berklee School of Music or what have you. So they had someone to help them, to train them in the way of what a trumpet player should do. And I didn't have that. And fortunately enough, I've been able to still do a lot of great things despite it.
Tell us some of those.
So
besides playing in the sound, which I know
correct.
is
I mean, come on, the Mike Monaghan man. Come on. I've been blessed with a lot of great opportunities. The biggest opportunity that I've had while playing the trumpet was to perform with Beyonce at Coachella, as well as Super Bowl 50. That was an amazing experience. I will never forget that. Also, recently, I've been hired to play trumpet for the Los Angeles Chargers as well. So every first down during the game, I will play ba 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 ba, and the crowd goes charge, and that's really amazing. And also, sometimes I will play the national anthem as well. So being in front of 30,000 people by myself without the sound or other band members with me, that was very unique, very interesting for me, and it taught me a lot of lessons on how to just be a better player in general.
And did you handle like the business side of that, let's say with the Chargers? Is that just somebody calling you and you just go and doing it? Because that's a big part of how it all works.
Correct. The Los Angeles Chargers found me through Instagram. They actually sent me a DM. One of the workers there contacted me, said, hey, we're looking for a trumpet player for the Chargers. Would you be interested? Of course, since it's Instagram and direct messaging, I didn't think it was real. So I obviously searched the gentleman. I Googled him, found out he was someone who worked for the Chargers organization, went forth and proceeded, and just, I ended up, hiring a lawyer to work out the logistics, of course, with that deal specifically. Mm-hmm. But social media has been that. I actually got the first Beyonce gig through Facebook as well. Someone referred me through an instant message on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So social media has been very helpful with me getting seen.
Mm-hmm. So now, as an artist, as Ryck Chang the artist, you also have a career.
I do. I am a hip-hop artist.
You can never steal my joy. I'm flying high, baby, yeah, I make that noise. Came to fill that void, and I ain't got no choice. I'm pursuing my purpose. You gon' see that I'm worth it.
When I decided to become a rapper, I initially did not want to include the trumpet. I just wanted to rap. And it wasn't until I did one of my first shows, someone came out to see me, and the gentleman's like, hey man, like, you play the trumpet. You need to, this is something that makes you different. You need to incorporate this into your music and into your show. And I listened to him, and since then I have done that.
Already know. Already on. Already gone. See 'em already flown. I'm ready. Already.
Although, you know, you can't add a trumpet to every song, right? Every song doesn't call for a trumpet. So, you know, I have to choose to see what works for me. But it's not specifically jazz. It is still very much so hip-hop with just trumpet elements added to it, maybe a little sample or something.
Sure, and hip-hop, of course, can be anything. You know,
Oh,
can have
yes,
all kinds of
correct,
stuff.
correct.
And it's wonderful. I remember seeing you for the first time. You step up and you play, and it's like, wow.
Yes.
You know, she's killing it on the trumpet, and then she's rapping and killing it.
Right,
It's like,
right,
you know,
right. Yeah,
double
some people
threat.
think it may just be a gimmick, but I actually do both.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think in general music, not just you, but just music in general, from hip-hop and out, what role do you think it's playing in our society these days?
Music is the universal language. Everyone can connect to it. You know, depending on the song, the theme, the subject. It doesn't matter your background, what community you're from. You can connect with someone from the other side of the world based on one song. And I think that is a beautiful thing about music. Me personally, I can listen to music and it helps me deal with whatever I'm dealing with at that time. For relaxation or just whatever it is. Music is definitely a healing tool. And I think if you're a lover of music, even if you're not, you can appreciate what music does to the soul.
And, you know, it's funny because a few times in my life when you meet someone who just, music doesn't mean anything to them. It's so
weird.
rare.
It's
so weird.
Yes,
and
like
you go,
how?
really? Like, you're missing like all this?
Yes,
You know?
yes,
It's like
yes.
somebody saying, okay, we're going to take red out of the color spectrum. You know, like,
How?
what? You know, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, let me ask you this. With the pandemic, is there something you may have done during the pandemic that you didn't do or didn't have to do before everything was shut down?
I actually, for fun, on my iPhone, I have GarageBand, which most of us do. Some people don't even know they have it on their phone, but it is an app that you can use to create music. And sometimes, for fun, I would create songs. And a friend of mine heard a couple of joints that I did, and she's like, oh, this is really dope. She's like, you should totally release this and maybe do an instrumental tape. And at first I'm like, no, you know. But then when I listened to the music again, I'm like, this could totally work. So I did 2 tracks earlier in the year during the pandemic, and then after the conversation with her, I ended up doing 4 more. So in a couple of months, I plan to release an instrumental beat tape called Ryck Instrumentals, Beats, Loops, and Vibes. And I am playing trumpet on some of those songs. And I think it's just a good vibe around the house. You know, if you're cleaning up or you're reading a book, it will be good background music for that. So I hope people will like that one.
And as things begin to open up, as they are here, what are you looking forward to?
Playing live. There's nothing like the energy you receive from being on stage and feeling the energy from the audience. There's nothing like it. I did the virtual thing all 2020. I'm sick of talking to the camera. I want to entertain people live and in person. So that, more than anything else, is what I'm looking forward to.
So I want to thank you for being with us today
course.
On behalf of Special Angel Band. I know that what you've done in your short life can act as an inspiration to younger kids who are searching for something to do. So we appreciate you coming and talking to us,
Thank
sharing
you.
your music
Thank
and,
you so
and your
much.
life with us. us.
Thank you all for having me. Again, find me everywhere, Ryck Jane, RYCKJANE.